After a dreamless sleep, the farmer wakes up and begrudgingly gets ready to head to work.
I can't wait to pick potatoes in the field today. It's gonna be fun.
He spends hours of his day breaking his back picking potatoes in the field.
I'll pick you, and you. You come here, good boy. Who's a good potato?
Then after a hard day's work, heads out to the local alehouse and gets absolutely blitzed.
I think potatoes are like alive, you know.
Eventually though, he's kicked out for stealing the pint glasses of every drink that he finishes.
I'm going, stop kicking me.
Stumbling through the streets, hungry, drunk and cold, he sees the light of the kebab shop. And starving, he orders a very normal amount of kebabs.
I'll take 6,000 kebabs, please.
After waiting hours for his order to be fulfilled, he finally exits the shop and heads home to his nice, comfy bed. But before he can satisfy his hunger and eat a kebab, he passes out on the floor. Waking, sober and warm, the farmer comes to see all of the items he collected in the yesterday. Ding, I'm a millionaire, says the farmer, then sells all of the items he gathered on the Grand Exchange. He is now a legitimate millionaire. And all of those things the farmer done in the yesterday are legitimate money makers, and each method is better than the last as the potato picker's day progresses. Let's dive into them and see what we can find out. Starting at the bottom of the sack, we're picking potatoes. This is a masochist's wet dream. To make a measly 100,000 coins in free-to-play, you'd have to spend between 4 and 5 hours uprooting these tubers, and most of that time is spent walking back and forth from the bank. The method involved in picking potatoes starts at this field in Lumbridge. You pick a full inventory, then walk to the Alcarid bank, all that way to that bank, walk back, pick a full inventory, rinse and repeat. It's a sad existence. Picking potatoes isn't very fun.
I think it's fun.
No one should be picking raw potato as a money-making method, not even in free-to-play. Not even bots are doing it. But potatoes create one of the best foods in Old School RuneScape, the tuna potato. So potatoes are a useful resource. To begin the farming skill, one of the first things players grow at level 1 farming is potatoes, but that would only add a minor amount of potatoes into circulation. The only monster to drop raw potatoes is the sour hog, and it drops 1 every 22 kills, so practically 0 potatoes are brought in through PVM. The only real source of bountiful potatoes must be coming from the shops around Galenor. With a membership, you can head to the Grand Tree, buy 10 potatoes for 10 coins Hop Worlds, do that until your inventory is full, then deposit them into the bank that's very close by. I couldn't find this as a money-making method on the wiki, however, I did find baking potatoes, which was surprisingly profitable at over 150k GP per hour. Sadly, you can't bake potatoes in free-to-play for whatever reason. It's time to experiment with potatoes.
Ooh, yeah.
The input for baking potatoes per hour is 50k GP to buy the raw potatoes from the Grand Exchange. Let's cut out the middleman and buy them straight from the source, because right next to the shop where you can buy them is a range to cook them. The only way to find out the hourly rate with this method is by doing it for an hour. Here we go. So we need to hop 3 times to get a full inventory of potatoes. Then we use them on this very conveniently placed range. Luckily I'm 99 cooking, so I don't have to worry about burning any. And we mark the NPC that we trade for the potatoes just so we can see them every time we hop world, so we don't have to spend some time looking for them. It's all about efficiency here. We've got 1 hour. And the good thing about this spot is that we can actually click on the bank from all the way over here thanks to Ruinlight. So each potato only costs 1 GP to buy, and when I cook it up, it's worth 227 GP. That is an incredible turnover. What's that, like 2,270% turnover? That's a good business. Let's bank them, put them in a different tab, and rinse and repeat. We've only got 2 minutes remaining, which is perfect timing because doing a full inventory takes roughly 2 minutes, so let's get it done. Here we go. We have managed to bake 773 potatoes in 1 hour, and Runelight estimates it in the bank at 154k GP. Let's go sell them. The Baking Potatoes money-making article where you buy them off the Grand Exchange currently says you make 155k profit. Unfortunately, on RuneScape, I was only able to sell the potatoes for 146k GP. So the method I thought I discovered was fractionally slower than just buying them off the Grand Exchange. Oh well, let's move on from potatoes. It's time to drink. Unlike in real life, getting hammered is actually pretty profitable. You can buy one of these 4 types of beer off the Grand Exchange, drink them all, sell the glasses, and make an okay profit. At the time of this recording, it was roughly 30 GP per pint, so you can make up to 60k GP per hour, which is almost 3 times the amount of the honest graft of picking potatoes. According to the wiki, a human can drink 1900 beers in 1 hour if being focused. That seems like a lot, so being the most average of beings with the attention span of roadkill, I decided to put it to the test. I've got over 1 million beers in the bank because people who watch my videos sometimes give me a crazy amount of beers for the collection. And the only reason they do that is because of the accent and cultural stereotypes that are in absolutely no way true. So, I've got the beers, let's see how many I can drink in an hour. We've got the timer, 1 hour, let's go. Start drinking beers. This is what, oh, I banked them. This is what I like to do in my free time. I just play RuneScape and I drink lots of beer. My attack level has been absolutely tanked. 0. It's not allowed to recharge. This is my permanent life. 0 attack. 22 seconds to go, we can finish this inventory, and that's it. Time's up. We can't finish this inventory. When we click on this tab, it's the moment of truth. 1900 was the wiki average, 1835. That's actually a lot better than I expected. I checked it about 20 minutes in, I'd only done about 500, so I must have sped up later on. This is way better than I expected. So if we put in that number into the wiki, it was 1835. We're making 56k GP profit per hour according to the wiki. And despite my nationality, guys, that has to be one of the most boring 60 minutes of my life. Clicking on the bank, withdrawing beers, and drinking a full inventory. You get no XP for it, there's no satisfaction. So throwing back the ale isn't the only way to make money with beer and beer glasses. In southern free-to-play Alcarid, there's a little house occupied someone who is definitely a raging alcohol, needs AA, needs to go to AA. This shelf contains an immeasurable amount of beer glasses. Every 2 seconds you can click on this shelf and get a beer glass. You fill up your inventory, you deposit in Alcarid Bank, rinse and repeat. It only takes a couple of minutes to fill up your inventory and you get 2.4k GP per inventory. That's a great way to get some starter cash, by the way. The overall money making method is about 70k GP per hour, so it's not worth doing it over long periods of time, but for startup cash, yeah, steal beer glasses out of this poor old woman's house. You can also go to the Rising Sun in Falador, buy beer out of the pub and then just bank it in the bank right next door. This is okay, but it's not that fun and it's only 50k GP per hour, so yeah, don't. So we've worked hard at baking potatoes, then we drank almost 2,000 pints of golden ale. Now it's time to follow the natural progression of being drunk and order a kebab or two. For whatever reason, you can sell kebabs on the Grand Exchange for about 50 coins. Why do people buy kebabs? No idea. Genuinely no idea. According to the wiki, you can buy 1,100 kebabs in an hour. I trust the wiki on this one, unlike how I trust these kebab sellers. What is in the kebab? Lamb? Beef? No. After some sleuthing, a player can discover the kebabs are made of camel meat. Camel. For every kebab you eat, you're chopping off a camel's hump. It's time to stop eating kebabs. But what about dwarves? They sell kebabs, but there's no livestock. In Lovakenj, there's these guys. Bats? No, not again. We can't do that again. The incredibly relatable money-making trinity of hard labour into getting drunk into having a kebab is complete. The only thing left to do is wake up the next morning with an extremely dirty hangover. And we all know there's only one way to cure a hangover. Hair of the dog. Grab some Zamorak garb, an air staff, some water and law runes, buy a few wizard mind bombs from the Rising Sun, and head to the Zamorak temple by the goblin village north of Falador and start telegrabbing Zamorak wines. Doing this with a total level of 500 or above makes this the best alcohol related money making method in free to play for about 85k GP per hour, which is actually okay for free to play, but watch out for those pesky monks. They don't like their wine being stolen. And that's it, really. A bunch of money making methods that are an absolute waste of time. And if you're in free to play, you can just craft some jewellery for like 150 or 160k GP per hour. So I wouldn't recommend doing anything you just saw in this video. So I guess, goodbye. There is a pub in Falador. They call it a... It's over. Gone.